directed energy weapons have been used ever since the 1900s against whistleblowers, researchers, and basically anyone in the free world, especially recently. And I happen to be a truth-telling mathematician who is not a slave of anyone, and have undergone directed energy weapon attacks, especially frequently in the past 2 years, since 2019. And this is how I survived. First step is observe. So document everything that you see or that happens. Because the more desperate people are to prevent you from speaking up, the more important it is for you to speak up, so that it's too late for them to silence you anyways. Learn from JFK and Marilyn Monroe. How were they killed? Why were they assassinated? They were aware of some really shady things going on in the government, and they were planning to, well, they actually said in a press conference that they were going to expose them tomorrow, but why not just directly expose them? And desperation to prevent you from speaking out includes not just, assassination and death threats, but also, blackmail and threatening people around you, or trying to convince you that you are in fact a slave and not a free person. But we're all free people. No one is a slave of anyone, even if some people try to make it seem that way, or trick people into thinking that way. And try as much as possible to include the source. Find and document. So where is it coming from? Who's doing it? In my experience, I have found that directed energy weapons either come from vehicles, so like a car, or a truck, or a van, in which case, get the license plate. Which I have done. And then later on, I found that it started coming from upstairs, so they actually moved in upstairs of my apartment. It could just come from anywhere nearby where you usually live. They moved in April 2019 and tried to hide from me, and I wasn't able to catch them on camera for like about half a year. And I documented everything. It's on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/user/LiVicky. That's spelled L-I-V-I-C-K-Y. I caught them. It was very difficult, but got the person, people on camera, and photos. And then make sure it's best to spread this in multiple places, so YouTube, Facebook posts, Twitter, WeChat posts, TikTok videos, key-based files. And then, everything that I reference and all my sources I'm going to include in the comments below this video, or else in a file along with the video file. Another part of observation is doing your research. For example, why is this useful? Because so directed energy weapons are regulated by the ITAR, International Traffic in Arms Regulations, which states that the export of directed energy weapons and just directed energy devices is illegal without a license from the Department of State. Which then also gives a clue to what the source of directed energy weapons are. And then just understanding how directed energy weapons work. So that you can understand better how to survive them, which I'm going to explain here what happened in my case. And all of this came directly from my experience and just figuring things out as I went along, trying things, testing, researching, documenting, and experiencing. So I observed that there's two different types of directed energy weapons. There are microwave-based, and there are LRAD, so sound wave or acoustic. They're called long-range acoustic devices. They were used against terrorists during the Iraq War. Basically, the CEO of LRAD, Woody Norris, explained everything in a TED Talk. So when I hear, kind of like what Patty Greer heard when she was attacked, famously, it was documented in the news and also in an interview that she did about a year after, because she was paralyzed for a year. It took her a year to recover enough. And it was also in the news, and then as the CEO of LRAD, Woody Norris, said, what they did against terrorists was they would, make a voice seemingly to come from God. So this is also called voice of God, seeming to come from, inside the ear or just right next to the ear of a terrorist, and saying, "I am God, lay down your weapons." And the terrorist would be standing in a crowd of people, and it'd be like, What? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And no one else heard it, but they did. So, when I hear that, or if it's a quieter, and sometimes you can also just even sense that there's some electromagnetic radiation. It's like static, and this is known as dirty EM radiation. And it gives you a headache. That's how I know that it's an LRAD. And then if I'm feeling, so this is dirty EM, and it comes with usually headache. Microwave, meanwhile, that's feeling really hot and thirsty, and also headache because in my case it usually happens to come on my head as if someone's pointing a laser that's shooting heat rays at your head. And there's back pain, yes, and total chi blockage. It's like having your circulation cut off, except it's your chi circulation, your energy. So yeah, there's gonna it feels well, at least in the beginning I would feel as if I didn't want to do anything but sleep and rest. But nowadays I just feel kind of sleepy. Usually hunger as well. It feels like radiation sickness, just extremely painful. Imagine that, you were at Hiroshima and attacked by a nuclear bomb, a lot of gamma radiation and messing up your DNA, and this total chi blockage, imagine you have your entire circulation cut off, and usually I find that then my face turns grayish, and my head becomes numb. Yeah, because it's so painful that it feels numb. And some people, they get cancer, and yeah, that's what kind of goes with the radiation sickness. And I've had that as well. Yeah, and then extreme tense. Yeah, very, very tense. Oh, and also with LRAD, extreme negativity. So, definitely got to prevent this, and from getting to that point. So, as soon as I get attacked by microwave LRAD, then there's two main ways of dealing with it. The easiest is just to move places. So, say that I was sitting here when I got attacked, sitting on a chair. Well, I find that moving about 10 feet away makes it go away. Because this is, it's kind of so this microwave compared to LRAD is kind of like 5G compared to 4G radio signals. So it's very intense, but it's very concentrated at a small area, like maybe a yard, square foot, 1 yard square area, or 1 yard radius. Yeah. And then it dissipates very, very quickly from there. So if you just move like a yard away, it should be gone, or a lot less. But I find that moving 10 feet away or so, then they have to actually move the directed energy weapon. And I can hear them, shut it off first and drain a whole lot of water, because apparently this requires a lot of water to operate. Probably because it needs to be cooled so that it doesn't overheat and blow up. And then, a lot of heavy objects moving, turning things on. You can hear things turning on, and attaching water pipes and filling something with water. Probably some cooling tank system. Yeah. And then it takes them, 10 minutes for the microwaves to actually become reasonably powerful, at which point you simply move back. And just, keep moving as needed. It's pretty simple. It takes you about 1 second to move. It takes them an hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, and then sometimes you don't want to move, so you just use cool water. So that looks like either a water pouch that I'll just put a pouch of hot water, cold water on my head, or just either a shower, or just a bucket of water, cold water. I like to do this actually before I go to sleep, and also after I wake up. It just really refreshes you, clears up all the heat first of all, and also all the dirty radiation. Yeah, clears your head, and it feels so comfortable. It's when you dip into the river, or stand underneath a waterfall, and it's just kind of want to stay there. Yeah. So there's that. And then it also helps before you go to sleep, because I find this attack often happens before going to sleep. So there's the bed and the pillow. Before I go to sleep, I like to drink a lot of water. So this is a pouch. This is a cold shower. This is a drink H2O. Okay, and then if I'm being attacked by LRAD, then, well, this one, it has a longer range, so, yeah, it's there's radiation, everywhere, but it's a lot less intense, so, However, definitely don't use water because the CEO found that it works like 6 times better underwater, and I think that's the reason why those dolphins died. So many dolphins died off the coast of Peru around like 2013, which is really sad because these acoustic devices killing the dolphins. So yeah. Okay, fine. So don't do that. And then the easiest is to take a break. And there's many things that I can do, to take a break. I can go, cook something. Stove or oven with my chef hat, if I have a chef hat. Can go do some chores like sweeping. Can go for a walk in the sun. Get some vitamin D. Do some yoga. So, I guess downward dog. And take a nap. A lot of things. But sometimes you don't need or you don't want to take a break, and that's fine too because you can just change your state of mind is what I find. So there's 3 main states, well actually 2 main states and then another one. So there's obviously sleeping is a different state of mind. Solo. Deep sleep. So no dreaming and deep sleep is the important thing. Obviously in a safe place where they don't know where you are because otherwise could be attacked by microwaves. So I find that if I just close the window, there's the window blind. Definitely want it to be nice, dark. Maybe play some music as well. And then another state of mind other than the normal waking thinking state is not thinking, but not speaking. Just focus on the nose. And focus on the breath. that looks like a nose. So breath work. And then not thinking. Clear the mind as well. I mean, if there are thoughts, it's fine, but like, just, focus on like being like an amoeba, or just the body, the breathing. Yes, because your brain is kind of, so there's research that shows that the mind is like a radio. It's like an antenna, and yes, we can receive radiation, but when your brain waves also radiate out, and then that can also like get detected. And yeah, either way, just like disconnect from that EM stuff. Okay. And then obviously, there's another state of mind